Hey guys, I'm here to talk about mulch, namely this stuff I've got on the ground everywhere. What is mulch good for? Well, it's basically an insulating layer for the soil. So with a good layer of mulch on soil, it won't be quite as, won't have quite as much of a tendency to get really cold or really hot based on the elements. Obviously it'll still get cold and warm, but if you have the rain and the snow and all and the wind and so forth beating directly on the soil, it will tend to be much more beaten up basically than if there's a nice layer of mulch on there. It's what happens in forests. You get a nice layer of leaves on the ground and creates that insulation. Now the other side of that coin is that you don't want so much mulch that the plants underneath can't get to the light. You need, some chance for the plants to get up there and get some light. So you don't want inches and inches and inches of mulch, but some is a good thing. And the other nice thing about mulch is that it just looks good. Putting down a nice layer of mulch in the spring defines your garden and just really makes it look like a garden. It's one thing I like to do every spring, is just lay down some mulch and get everything looking nice and clean and fresh again. And now I actually have a layer of something to work with. So you might be wondering what kind of mulch to buy. Well, it really depends on the effect you're going for. You can go with hardwood mulch like I have in the back, which is basically just shredded brush, shredded wood. You can go with leaf mulch, which is more like what you actually have out in nature. That's the fallen leaves shredded up. Now, the different sides of that is that it's much lighter, so it tends to blow away more quickly. So if you're in a windy area, leaf mulch is often not the best. It also tends to disintegrate into the ground more quickly, which gives you good soil, but it's gone fairly quickly. So if you're looking for something that's going to last for months and months and months, probably not the best solution. I mean, no mulch is going to last for years, but a hardwood mulch, for example, will last on the ground longer than a leaf mulch. Of course, the other side of that is you could put down a thin layer of leaf mulch, then a covering layer of a more hardy mulch. You can also go with a recycled mulch, and the advantage of that is it's recycled. However, they can look a little weird. They're often ground up rubber and things like that. And so covering a large garden with nothing but recycled mulch can look a little odd to the eye. So just be aware of what you got. You might want to peek into a bag before you buy it, or otherwise see if there's one that's spilled out, just to see what it looks like and get a feel for if you're going to have. I got a sort of a recycled rubber mulch a while back, and it had this sort of brick red color, which is fine, but I wouldn't want my entire garden to have that particular mulch just because of how my garden is structured. So just be aware of that. The other twist with mulch is where to get it. You can obviously buy it at a local garden center, or you can go to your local landfill, where typically they take the brush that's been brought there, grind it up into a hardwood mulch, and provide it there for free. Now, the disadvantage of using that is that you've got all the brush that people are throwing away. Not only will you have little bits of trash in there, and it's almost always just little bits of plastic, nothing problematic. If those plants are diseased, if folks are cutting out diseased plants and then throwing them away, those get cycled back in because the folks working at the landfill generally don't know if a plant is diseased or not, and often you just can't tell that easily. So you may be getting some disease in your mulch. Now, I've personally never had any noticeable problems with it, although I've also had some plants not make it. Could be the mulch, could be all sorts of other things. So that's kind of the two sides of getting that free mulch. The way I handle it now is any areas where I really want to be careful, I will buy mulch. But if I have large areas like in the back where basically I'm filling in large spaces with mulch just so I have mulch there and so it looks nice, that's just free mulch because I really don't care if there's much disease on ground that I'm not really planting much anyway. So those are the trade-offs, and that's just what you kind of have to live with when it comes to mulch. Hope this has been helpful. See you next time.